Okay, so the next element that we've got to talk about is our text function, where we can add text boxes to our scrapbook. So we push on the triangle again, and we now highlight the text one, and then simply typing on our board, it gives us access to our text edit tools. We have all of the fonts that are currently installed on our computer available. We've got a variety of different sizes that we can select. And so now we simply have to start typing. So you can do this from your computer's keyboard. We also have an on-screen keyboard, which we can tap on here and pull that up. So we can then type in by hunting and pecking. Of course, that may be a little bit slower than what you might want to be doing, but it is one feature to do. We also have an accessory, which we'll cover in one of the other videos, which is the handheld wireless keyboard and mouse, which is another way of inputting text and running your computer from not having to go up to your board. So now we've got our text. We have the ability to highlight this. We can change it to a bold feature. We can also highlight that, change it to italics. We can underline it as well. We have the ability to center it or justify it to the left or the right. We also have the ability, we only have one line here, so we also have the ability to indent and do some other things. This is a very basic word processing tool. Do not think of it in terms of Word. You're working on a whiteboard, so keep that in mind as you're working with this. You can change the size of the font here. You can also change the size of the font color. Now, one of the other things that we want to point out is that if you are working with text and your box and you decide that you want to increase the size of your box, your text automatically increases as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, it functions differently than your Word program, but it works very well for tagging things. I would not write a book with this. You will be very frustrated. So that's our text feature right there. Okay, so the next item that we want to cover going around the wheel of our tool palette is going to be the eraser. The eraser has 4 different sizes that we can choose from. And when we start using the eraser, then the lines that we have drawn, it simply starts to erase. And we can do that very succinctly with a little eraser, or as we were doing before, we can be very aggressive with this. Now, keep in mind, this does have a undo and a redo button, so that if we said, oh crap, we made a mistake, we can always step back out of what we had done and unerase what we have. So keep that in mind, that as long as the buttons are available, you can go backwards and forwards in terms of that feature. So the next element we're going to cover is the magnification. The magnification allows you to get in very close to your work. So if you click on the 500, you'll see that we've got our eBeam logo because it's zoomed into that upper left-hand corner. But we can start doing, we can go back to our regular tools palette and select a color and start to type. Now, as you can see, this is getting very detailed, so our line is not nearly as neat and clean as it was, even though we're using the small one. Everything becomes much bigger if we're doing that. So be cautious when you're using that, but it then falls back to the same original size as what we were dealing with. The last button that we've got on here is going to be our button that we're going to go to next, and underneath this one we've got our ability to record, which we are recording right now, and some of the elements that you're seeing are showing up on the video from the recording that we took. We also have the ability to create a new page underneath this, but we're going to go to the snapshot. So the snapshot is going to allow us, let's go down here to a different page right here. So the snapshot allows us to screen capture things that on our computer. Keep in mind, it is going to be whatever program you have back behind your existing scrapbook program. So right now, if we touch on the capture, it's going to ask us, do we want to do a capture the entire screen, or do we want to capture just a selection? So we're going to go to the selection first of all. And so now it's minimize scrapbook, and we are onto our desktop. And simply by dragging and dropping, dragging across our desktop, we pick up this. It is saved as an element, which allows us to manipulate this in any shape, in any fashion that we want to. And so as an element, we can do that. Okay, we're going to go on now and add a new page here because we want to now take a snapshot and show you how we're going to capture our entire screen. So we click on Go, it goes minimize the scrapbook, and now it's selected the entire screen that we had available back behind it. And it's saved it as an element so that we have the ability to manipulate this. But you can see menu bars, everything that was on the screen got captured from one end to the other of our desktop. So now let's create a new page, and this time we're going to capture this. We're going to not import it as an object. So we're going to click on here, and it's going to take a picture of our screen, and now it's a background image. We don't have the ability to manipulate this. So keep that in mind, that depending upon what selection you make, you'll have the ability to manipulate it or not. Okay, so we want to, and when we did that, also keep in mind that it added a new page when we did that, completely new page, but it also put it all the way at the back of our training session that we've got here. So that takes care of the snapshots. Okay, importing and merging other files. We have the ability under File to do importing. Keep in mind that when you import Excel, Word, or PDF, they're importing images of that file. So we're going to, right now, go here and import an Excel file. And we're going to do that by starting here on Import and Merge. So it looks for our desktop or our documents. Okay, so we've now navigated to the folder that we want to open up, and we need to select what type of folder we're going to have here. So we're selecting Excel, and we have our eBeam Excel sample, so we highlight that one and open it. And now what the computer program is doing is looking at all of that. It's taking snapshots of each page, and now it's coming up and saying, okay, you want to load the data from one sheet only and use it as the current page, in which case then you can select exactly what you want to see, whether it's all the cells or highlight just the specific cells, or do we want to load all of the sheets that we want to use them for new pages. And that's what we're going to select here, is loading all of the pages. And so we click on OK. And now what it's done is it's taken a picture of each one of those pages, and it has loaded the information on here. Now, we developed that Excel program in order to make certain that you would be able to see this. If we had an Excel sheet that was 1,000 rows long, it would take a picture of all of those 1,000 cells and put them, squeeze them down within this available view. You wouldn't be able to see what's on there. So keep in mind, exactly, you keep that in mind. And the same thing would be true with Word and a Word document. So at this point now, we've added these pages, but there isn't anything that we can do with it. They are not manipulated because they are a picture of that page. We can annotate on top of it, and in this particular one, Spectre International is into the world domination portion. So we can come down here, and if I am the head of Spectre, I can look at this number and say, ooh, that's good, but this one's better. Oh, and agent number 5, we're gonna kill you off because you did lousy in that section. So I can annotate what I've got here, and I'm putting that on top, but I cannot manipulate my cells. So that would be the case for Word and for Excel when we add something in there. For PDF, we would be adding individual pages to the document. If we add a scrapbook file to that, we'd be adding those pages. Those are going to be able to be manipulated. So we can take 2 scrapbook files, merge them into one, and do everything that we're doing with here inside the constraints that we have for elements. Capture with the whiteboard product, so if we did something in whiteboard, we can add that file to our scrapbook, so we can go from whiteboard into scrapbook. We cannot take a scrapbook file and put it into whiteboard. Okay, so we've talked about a number of different items within the scrapbook program, the scrapbook elements. We've done annotations, as far as the pen and the highlighter. We've worked with shapes. We've talked about the text in terms of big and size, big and small. One of the things that you can do is also import image files, bitmap graphic files. We've talked about the Excel, Word documents, and PowerPoint. The next item that we want to look at is the flash files. The flash files are, you can add any flash file to a file and embed it on your page. So we're going to create a new page here, and this also then brings up the element of the gallery, which is a very cool item. Scrapbook was designed primarily around education originally, and it has grown more and more into the business environment. So what you see here, when this program is loaded on your computer, you got a lot of details for classrooms. All of this can be changed, deleted, added to if you are not a classroom education. If you are, you will find a tremendous amount of great stuff here that is already available to you immediately, and you can add to your file by utilizing your buttons down here or going to the root folder underneath the programs. But specifically what we want to look at right now is underneath our dynamic content. And one of the things that we like here is the aspect of the what these do. So underneath the timer here, you've got the ability to drag and drop a timer. So if you're doing a training, if you're doing a class setting where you're walking through a specific program and it's time to take a break, it's time to take a pop quiz, you can have your timer all set up here in terms of how many minutes you want to do, and it will go from 0 to an hour, or seconds for that matter. And when you select that, that can be pre-programmed so that when you get to this screen, it's already set to go. All you got to do is, okay, we're going to take a 1-minute break. You start the timer, and within a minute, it's going to stop, and you're going to get a nice loud bump, a beep. Other elements that we've got here, random number generator, so we can choose the So under the random number generator, we can select the range that we want to have this put underneath, and simply by selecting that, then it will automatically, when we choose random number, you'll find there's a lot of different elements here. For teaching, minutes up. For teaching, you've got games, you've got mathematics in terms of clocks, different elements of the clock. If you're dealing with teaching kids how to tell time, you can drop this in here, of course, now with the element of digital clocks. I'm not sure how well that works, but you can set this up and add and pre-program this if you want, work with it on the fly. You've got charts, grids. Somebody had talked about in one of our meetings about doing flow charting. If these shapes aren't in here for flow charting, you can easily add these. These are PNG files that are included as part of this, so any PNG file can be added to this. So utilizing our elements, you can see here that we've got a wide variety of elements, and one of the things that we can do with this is we can select these all together, utilizing our right click, we have the ability to align these, where we can align them all to the left, right, or center. We can also align them top, middle, or bottom, or distribute them horizontally. So if we align them all to the center, it takes the center line between all of these shapes and it puts it right in the center. So that's one of the things that we can do. We can group these together so that if we select a number of these elements and we again go to our left click, we can group these so that now they will act as one element. And as we're turning these, it will keep them all in their relative same spot that they were before. So that's something that we can do as far as grouping. We can resize them as we have shown before with the other elements. We can grab that corner and make it larger, smaller. We can also add a hyperlink, which was what we did at the very beginning with the video, is that when we add a hyperlink, and I'm not sure where this is going to go, but couldn't be found, so we've edited or removed that. But we can have the hyperlink. If I push on this, I can have it take me to one of the other pages within the within my file. I can have it take me to a folder within my computer. I can have it take me to a web address, specific spot someplace on the web that I want, whatever I want, wherever I want this to go. So I can get there simply by clicking on the world figure. And we're getting near the end. So navigating your computer. This is your computer navigation. So we've minimized our computer program, scrapbook, and now we're going to open up an Excel folder. I'm going to start a new document. So now we've got our new document up here. So I can now, while I'm working up here, I can select a cell. Through my on-screen keyboard, I could input information that I wanted to in that cell. I could also do that with my handheld keyboard or through the computer. So I can run any program that I can work with my wireless my stylus, which is my mouse, and a keyboard, which I'm not sure what else you would need. So anything that we can do at our desktop or our computer, our laptop, we can do from up here because we have the tools available to do that. So that would be the case with Word, with Excel, any program, any drawing program. You can run AutoCAD from here. Again, you're utilizing the same tools, it's just in a different format in terms of this is your mouse and you've got an on-screen or handheld keyboard that you're utilizing. Okay, so we go to, so we've already touched on taking the screenshot, and as I said, we're recording, and the very easy thing here, if we go here and select our record, then up pops our recording, and you can see here that we've already got a recording going. We're not going to stop that, but we can pause it, we can stop it. Our starting would be up here, and we can minimize it at the same time so that it's not sitting here as we're working. Online meeting. This is a feature that is included with the program. There is no extra charge for this. You can run a meeting with up to 25 people. It's a simple matter of starting a meeting by clicking on this. And if we have the ability to title it, my name, we can put some notes on here. We can use a password protection so that not everybody can get in here. The security at Luidia, and this is running off the Luidia server, you also have the ability to use my PC to host a meeting, and I think you're limited to 10 people at that point. But on the Luidia server, you can have up to 25 people. So you can publish this name so that anybody that's going to the meeting function can find it, or you can lock it down and not publish it. But simply starting a meeting is as simple as sharing, and now it's starting up the program, it's loading everything up there. I can do it in multiple languages if I want to. And now we're running a meeting. So you can see here that this is being shared, and then the next step is I need to invite people. So the add the people's names, they'll get the interactive meeting message, and then it tells them exactly where to go. If they don't have the software downloaded for their computer, it gives them a link by which they can do that, so that you can have the ability to work within the program. Okay, we're going to cancel that. So, and we're not going to go through the meeting at this point, but that is something that we'll cover later. To stop the meeting, we simply click on stop, and we want to end that, yes. Now, when the meeting is ended, the people on the other end who were part of the participants have the ability to save the file that you've been working in on their computer. It gives them that option. Cover sheet is another aspect here. This is the cover sheet. So if you want to keep some stuff hidden in terms of what you want to show, you have the ability to add a cover sheet. The cover sheet can be made more or less opaque. It can also be brought in from the top, bottom, left, or right. So that's the cover sheet. The spotlight, which is the next item, provides you with the ability to maneuver a spotlight around the page, and it has the same ability here to change the opaqueness of the covered area. So now it's very, it's just shaded. We can go small, medium, large, and we can change that from a circle to a square. So depending upon what it is that you want to show, that is the spotlight. So the last item here is the camera. And in this particular case, we've got the camera hooked up to, we're utilizing the web camera that we've got on our computer. So we have the ability to record, and we can also take a snapshot of what we're looking at, and that has taken a snapshot, and again, this has created a background, or we can take one where, let's create a new page here. We'll take a new one, and that took an image of what we were working in, and now we can manipulate that. So if you've got another USB camera attached to your computer, you can do that. We can have the grid turned on and off. So that's another feature that you can have. Any USB camera that functions on your computer can be used for that. So that is the end of our presentation. Normally, if we were running this in front of you in a person-to-person fashion, then we would hand you the stylus so that you can come up here and start running the program and see how things work. We do have a sample program that you can borrow the unit to try it out. We do have the USB model that is available so that you can see how it works, play around with it for 2 to 3 weeks, and see if it's going to work for you, so that you can then make an informed decision as to whether or not this is going to work for your organization. For teaching, I can tell you it will for teaching. There's just so much that we can do with this, that it will provide you with a tremendous base by which to build collaboration, teaching, meetings. Everything now becomes that much more powerful for you. So if you have any questions, please go to our website at ebeamrocks.com, and there you'll find our email addresses, or call us. We'd love to talk to you about the product. Thank you.